Good afternoon to you. I hope you're having a good day. This has turned out to be the quietest, most dry day of the week so far by a long stretch. I'm coming to you a little bit earlier than normal. It's 3:10 in the afternoon. Radar is showing some scattered, mostly light showers to the west of Portland, Salem, and Vancouver. So it still looks like some areas get no rain. Some areas before the sun goes down or mid-evening, we get a trace to maybe a couple of hundredths of an inch of moisture. Any showers will be ending tonight. The bigger story today was probably that frost advisory that we had early this morning. Now, it never looked like we were going to have widespread freezing temperatures. I'm surprised there weren't a few more spots frosty than there were. These were just some of the hand-picked overnight lows. PDX only 39. Hillsboro did dip to 32, so there's some frost. Estacada the same. Tillamook the same. Salem 36. Kelso held at 35 degrees. And generally, it's been a partly cloudy to mostly cloudy afternoon. And as I mentioned, we do have a little bit of light rain scattered about, starting to move more into the Willamette Valley in southwest Washington at this mid-afternoon hour. But anyway, most of us did not have frost this morning. Okay, I want to spend just a little bit of time talking about what's coming up, and then I want to give you my first preview of what the models are trending for in terms of the rest of spring and summer. Okay, hold on for that. Here we go, satellite picture. So a little heightened push of moisture coming in at this hour. Again, sticking the clouds up a little bit. We're getting a little bit of shower activity. There's a surface high down here. See the gap in the moisture right here? The surface high is going to build in, so it still looks like we'll be dry tomorrow. Looks like inland areas will be dry on Saturday, although there could be some developing rain at the coast. But our next front, not this ball of clouds, but developing right back in here, that front is on track to come into the I-5 corridor, Portland, Salem. It looks like right now sometime Sunday afternoon, maybe as early as 1 o'clock. So that would bring us likely developing widespread rain during the day on Sunday. And this is another shot of colder air eventually coming out of the Gulf of Alaska that will get us right back into the chilly weather pattern that we have been stuck in. So next Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, all days of scattered showers and highs in the low to mid 50s. Snow levels at times maybe back down to 2,000 or 1,500 feet. So that's crazy. That's coming again. All right. Now, I hope you'll find this a little interesting. Some of you have been asking me about this. You may have seen this headline, La Nina ends, right? So it was several days ago that NOAA put out their final La Nina advisory, basically announcing that what we call the ENSO cycle is now in neutral conditions. There are early indicators that we will be in a neutral pattern, basically means the tropical ocean temperatures in the Pacific off the coast of South America down the equatorial belt are going to be near normal. Those water temperatures may be warming throughout the summer, which eventually would get us into an El Nino pattern, potentially the latter part of summer going into next fall and maybe into the winter. But for right now, the headline is La Nina is over and we are in a neutral pattern. And that's important. I may get into this more tomorrow, but the hinge on my winter outlook, of course, winter's over, but the hinge on the winter outlook that I put out last October banked on the fact that La Nina would be starting to end in February, and it would be late February into March would be perhaps our coldest spell of winter and the best chance to get some snow. That turned out to be a really good forecast. And again, I may get into that more coming for you tomorrow. But right now, let's move forward and answer your questions about what could be coming our way the remainder of spring and into summer. So what this is, we live in a world now of a gazillion different weather models, right? Tons and tons and tons of them. So see the black line right here? This is a projection. I kind of cut off on the bottom of the screen, but here's February, 3-month outlook period of February, March, April, May, April, May, June, and et cetera, et cetera. So this is projecting what those equatorial water temperatures are going to be off the coast of South America. So the zero line is average, and that's basically the baseline for a neutral pattern, which we're now in. So now that we're in March, April, May, we're right in here. And if you mainly look at the solid lines, these are the outputs of the 3 different major models that are being looked at in terms of blended model output. So right now we're close to normal, so that's neutral. And then notice how we slowly just kept trending up. So here's June, July, and August. Now all 3 of these lines are well above normal. But see the solid ones? A couple of them are between normal and a half a degree Celsius, 0.5 above. That would still be neutral. Oh boy, sorry, this gets too sensitive for me sometimes. The green line, which is, if you're wondering, is the dynamic average model. That is the warmest one. That actually gets us above a half a degree Celsius and gets us into a weak El Nino pattern coming up later in the summer. But anyway, the important thing to note is La Nina's over. Right now we're neutral and everything is trending up. And if we warm up above a half a degree Celsius by the end of summer, we would be entering into an El Nino pattern. So that's what all of the outlooks and projections are going to be based on from NOAA and the National Weather Service. It's also the baseline of what I use to do my outlook forecasting. So I'm taking you through the climate forecast system. This is the main American extended model. And I'm just going to show you what these maps look like on a month-to-month snapshot basis. So for the month of April, here we are, 558 millibars at 18,000 feet. Now, what's important about that is that as the numbers go lower, there's a better chance for colder weather. As that number goes higher, there's a better chance for warmer weather. You would expect the numbers to generally trend higher as we go into the summer, if that makes sense. But if you look at the flow pattern, see my dashed lines, here's a cold trough. This is April. Cold trough, 558 is a relatively low number pressure height-wise for April. And we're obviously in a cold, wet pattern, right? So check, that's right where we're at. That makes sense. What's going to happen in May? Is this number higher? Yeah, it goes from 558 to 570 millibars. There's no little dip or trough anywhere close. In fact, notice how my arrow kind of catches some ridging contours. So this is actually a little bit of warming taking place. If you just look at this flow pattern, it's tough to tell if we're going to have normal or below normal rainfall, but there's no reason to believe that we would be wetter than normal. And there would be reason to think that at the very least, our cold pattern would trend to near normal temperatures to above. So right now, to me, the headline for May is we're going to finally get out of this colder than normal pattern. And a normal May would be really nice. And if we trend a little bit above normal, that means we'd probably start slipping in some 80-degree temperatures. And even if precip is close to normal, I mean, that would be a fraction of what we're getting right now. So May is trending to be really nice, kind of a typical May for us, if not a little bit on the warm side. Here comes June, though. Now, notice my little dash line. There's a new trough that comes, and this is the same number, 570 millibars, but you would expect June to be higher, and it's not. It's holding the same. So that's a reflection of another little cool dip. So that could mean we enter into a June with a lot of low-level cloudiness. We have few 80-degree days. It overall averages to be cooler than normal, and there's a chance of getting a little bit more normal rainfall than we typically would. But keep in mind, June, July, August, especially July, August, we don't get much rain anyway. So the difference between above normal rain, and below normal rain isn't much. It's really not even noticeable. But June, all right, let's say there's no reason to believe that we're going to have any significant heat. That's going to be either a decent month temperature-wise or disappointingly cool, depending on what you like. All right, here's July. What I want you to notice here, notice how the number goes way up, 582, right? Notice this solid contour over Texas, up into Missouri, and up into Wyoming. See my two H's for high pressure? So this is the first month that we're now seeing this expanding area of high pressure start to take hold across a good chunk of the country. We're on the top of the upper periphery of that ridge, but we're at 582 millibars. This right now looks to be the best bet to be hot, to have maybe a run of 90-degree temperatures and have temperatures average above normal with not much precip. So that's July. But look what happens when we go to August. Here's a little dip again. Instead of 582, we see the numbers go down to 575. So cooler than July. Now we're getting to maybe a better chance of precip. I mean, August never gets that much precipitation, but maybe this trough would be enough to help trigger a higher number of scattered thunderstorm convection days than we normally get. The bullseye of dry weather in the summer is typically anywhere from about July 20th through August 10th. That's the driest period, ballpark figure, that we have all summer. So this will maybe set up the chance of some scattered convection getting into middle August, into the latter part of August, and it would dampen the chance that we would have a lot of 90s or go on any ridiculous hot weather span. So if all that is true, this is what it comes out to be. Again, this is my first preliminary look of just seeing what the models are and making some very elementary decisions or conclusions from what the models are showing, okay? May would be much warmer than what we're used to. We're finally going to break out of the cold. We're going to have a lot of 70s, start mixing in some 80-degree temperatures, and really have a lovely month with near normal rainfall at best. So that's a lot of dry time. That's pretty nice. June, maybe a little disappointing. Lots of morning cloud cover, potentially over 2 inches of rain, which would be a wetter June than the typical. Not many 80s, a lot of 70s. And then July, oh my goodness, here's summer. It's hot. Now we're racking up the 90s. We're getting some sun. Not much of any moisture. August, though, well, at least it's not as bad as July. The heat starts to back off and we open up the increasing door for some showers. I'm going to spend some more time in the coming weeks looking at the summer outlook. So please understand, that's my first very elementary projection based on what the month-to-month model output is right now, okay? Okay, real quick for the coast this weekend, because I'm talking about dry weather tomorrow in Portland, Salem, and Vancouver. I'm talking about dry weather Saturday, Portland, Salem, Vancouver. But at the beach, there's at least a chance of a shower tomorrow, but I think odds favor it being dry. Saturday, different stories. We go into the afternoon hours, especially the north coast, Tillamook, Clatsop counties. Pretty good bet there will be some rain in the afternoon, eventually come in and develop. And then Sunday is just a rainy day at the coast. So that's the beach temperature. Now, with that said, here's what we're looking at for the valley. 53 the high today. We're on track to be 53, 54. Tomorrow, dry, partly cloudy. We could hit 60. We have not hit 60 yet. Crazy. 38 to 59 will go. Saturday, I'm not sure how much sun we get. This potentially could be a cloudy day, but I still think we have a chance to hit 60 or a little bit better. And then after a dry start, rain develops on Sunday, maybe by noon. And then it's just a rainy day. And then behind that cold front on Sunday, we have the cool showery pattern that I alluded to with highs in the low to mid 50s on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Hey, by the way, before I let you go, since we're just now starting to talk about summer, do you remember this real quick? Last August had the warmest mean temperature on record. It was the warmest mean temperature of any month in history for Portland in terms of recorded history. The mean temperature was 4.5 degrees above normal. The high temperature last August was 87-degree average. That was second place all time. Crazy. And we had 29 total 90-degree days last summer. If the outlook maps I showed you hold true, we would be less than that this year. How about that? All right. Have a good rest of your day. I'll talk to you tomorrow.